Hello my beloved ones out there. This is another awesome time in Marriage Without Tears channel, and tonight we are discussing the issue of sexlessness in marriage. Couples that have been married for a long period of time, but instead of seeing their sexual life improving, they discover to their disappointment that suddenly it is coming down low and low every day. I know of a couple that for the past 1 year they have not had sex, and this is disgusting. These are couples that are actually living together. These are couples that have had children through their marriage. These are young couples that are between the ages of 35 and 40. When they should be experiencing joyful sexual life, they discover that for one reason or the other, they are no longer having sex. They are drifting apart on a daily basis. The man has argued, the woman has done a whole lot of things, but for whatever reason, it's not just happening. And we want to look at the reasons why this can happen and what the couples can do to ameliorate this condition. It may be happening in your marriage, but even if it is not happening now, it could happen sometime in the future. And that is why there is an urgent need for us to discuss this, so that you know what to do when such a situation arises in your own marriage. First of all, if you are yet to subscribe to my channel, please do so immediately. This is Marriage Without Tears. Once you touch that red button by my side, you get subscribed and become part of this awesome family. First of all, let me tell you why sexlessness normally happens in marriage. Anytime you find a couple that are not adding value to their relationship, that are not increasing their intimacy level, that are not doing anything to improve on their intimacy level, they may think that the union is still, getting better, but they don't know that a whole lot of damage is being done. It's like uprooting a palm tree from the soil, and if you go there the next week or the next 2 weeks or the next 3 weeks or even 1 month, you discover that there are still green leaves on it. But unfortunately, the palm tree is already dying. That is what happens to a relationship that is not improved upon. The couple may think that it is still uhuru, it is still going well, but they don't realize that a whole lot of damage is being done. So I want you to, on a daily basis, continually improve on your marriage. Another thing that can also cause sexlessness is a hidden health challenge. Somebody may be having high blood pressure for some time, or high sugar level, or other kind of debilitating circumstances, something that can inhibit your sexual life. You may not actually realize that. It may even be an STD, a sexually transmitted disease that was not properly treated. If it continues to be allowed without proper treatment, it can cause damage to your sex life eventually. These are some of the things, and of course there are so many other emotional hiccups here and there that can cause sexlessness in marriage. When you discover that certain challenges or certain conflicts are not resolved and when due, it can over a period of time cause a kind of depression, a kind of a sadness, a negative environment in the relationship. And I want you to know that it is necessary for you to take care of every conflict as they come. So these are some of the things, and of course there are some other spiritual challenges which we may not discuss within the ambit of this very particular project. But I want you to know very well that sexlessness can happen in any marriage. Even the best of marriage can express sexlessness if the conditions are not properly arrested. So I want you to just listen. One of the things the couple must do when they encounter this kind of problem in their marriage is to open up every communication channel. Communication must be deep, communication must be honest, communication must be full of kindness and compassion. When you relate with your spouse, you must open up to him or her and discuss whatever is the problem. Where did this sexlessness start? This condition that we are feeling now, when did it start? What actually gave rise to it? What conditions have we put ourselves that made it, that caused us to drift apart sexually? What are actually the reasons why we are in this kind of pit right now? You must discuss that with joy, with kindness, with compassion, with love. This is how it goes. But I've seen couples that when they experience this kind of thing, what they do is they shut down every communication door. And when you do that, the entire relationship begins to deteriorate. It ought not to be so. Another thing that a couple that are facing this thing can do seek for therapy, or a marriage counselor, somebody who is trained and experienced in the art of observing marriages and researching marriages and looking at whatever is the immediate and remote causes of problems in marriage, and is able to give you quality answers, quality solutions to what you are facing. But what we see normally is people go to their, to their friends, people go to their parents to seek for counsel. People sometimes go to their, even their hairdresser or even their barber to seek for counsel. People sometimes, most people even go to their pastors. There is nothing wrong in seeking the answer of a pastor, but the reality is that if that pastor is not trained in the art of ministering to married couples, you may discover that he or she may not give you the right answers. So the right person to actually look for is a counselor, a married counselor. Look for a married counselor within your environment, somebody you can relate to, somebody that can objectively look at your marriage and unravel the mystery that you are, the challenge that you are facing. This is the kind of person you must look for. And then, of course, the third thing you must do actually, if you are facing this kind of problem, is to remove criticism and blame game from the agenda, from your agenda. Don't blame one another. Don't begin to criticize one another. Don't begin to tell one another things to undermine one another. You can't get a solution by that. I've seen a woman tell the man, oh, is it not because you went out there and you have been chasing all manner of people in skirt and you are jumping from one bed to the other? That's why you can no longer perform your conjugal rights. You can no longer, manage your conjugal relationship. That is why. But the reality is that if that man had been jumping and having all manner of girlfriends there, and of course he should also have strength for you. So it may not really be so. It may not really be so. I have also seen the man accusing the woman, oh, you are always complaining of one sickness or the other, one thing or the other. You are always giving me a reason for getting out of the dream. You don't want to meet my sexual needs. Why? If only the man can be, empathic enough to understand why the woman is making such a complaint, because the reality is the same woman who has been such a nice, wonderful woman at the beginning that is now complaining. So there must be a reason for that. If you can decipher the relationship, you can assess the relationship, you'll be able to dig out the root cause of such complaints. So that takes me to the next one I want to talk about, and that's the issue of empathizing, putting yourself in one another's shoes, trying to understand one another's perspective. If one is complaining, why is he or she complaining? Is he or she burdened by by the exigencies of her office, her career, her occupation, or is it just what is it? What is he or she complaining about? If you can only step into one another's shoes, you'll be able to understand one another better, and you'll be able to reason out why whatever is happening. That's how you do it. But if you begin to cast aspersions at one another, if you don't give allowance to what the other person is feeling, you may never get to the root of the matter. So if you are facing sexlessness now, I want you to sit back with your spouse, check whatever is happening, put yourself in his or her shoes, and then gradually and as a couple, you will be able to reason out the best approach to whatever you are facing. That is the way to go about it. If you are yet to subscribe to my channel, please do so immediately. There is a red button by my side. This red button, please click on it and get subscribed while we continue. Another thing you must also do when you are facing sexlessness is to take a look at your own personal hygiene. Make sure you are someone that takes good care of yourself. I have seen people who don't take good care of themselves. A woman was looking slim and nice and sexy at the beginning, but after 6 months or 1 year of marriage or 2 years of marriage, she bloats up because she puts all manner of food into her system. And they will give reasons and say, oh, because of pregnancy. It's not actually because of pregnancy. You can get pregnant, and after the pregnancy, you can trim back to your former size, or at least something close to it. But we discovered that some of these women, they tidy up themselves, they look after themselves when they were not married yet. But immediately they get married, oh, they lose everything. They open up, they begin to gulp all manner of things. And as you are doing so, you are bloating up inside. You are losing your sex appeal. Take a good look at yourself. Are you a neat person? Do you clean up? Look at your armpits. Look at your private parts. Do you clean up? Do you wear nice clothes? Do you perfume yourself well? Do you take your bath at least twice or 3 times on a daily basis? How do you tidy up? What about your oral cavity? I have seen some men, they will go out there, they will smoke, they will drink, and then they will want their wives to kiss them. How can you do that? Is the woman, what kind of person do you think the woman is? That after you have filled your mouth with tobacco and all manner of rubbish, and then you have not even cleaned your mouth, you want the woman to kiss you? No. Take care of your oral cavity. I've seen women, for the sake of the fact that maybe they are doing some household chores on a Saturday morning, on a Sunday, whatever, before you know it, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, they have not taken their bath, and they sweat, and after all this sweat, they allow the sweat to dry in their bodies, and before you know it, they begin to pick up body odor. They begin to have body odor. And then when the man is now, systematically drifting away from you, you don't know why he's drifting away. He's drifting away because you're no longer taking good care of yourself. Take adequate care of yourself. If you want an improvement in the sexual life, take adequate care of yourself. Look at what you eat. Look at what you wear. Check your oral cavity. Check your bodily hygiene. It's very, very important. Another thing that you must also do, if you want to conquer sexlessness in your marriage, one other thing that you must do is to begin to prioritize other forms of intimacy. What did I say? Prioritize other forms of intimacy. There are all other forms of intimacy. Every intimacy does not mean just sexual intercourse. No. When you develop the attitude of, taking your bath together, develop the attitude of taking an evening walk together, develop the attitude of going, visiting eateries, develop the attitude of going for concerts, programs together, things that you jointly share, a common interest, a common joy that you jointly share. Develop the attitude of going into that, doing that all the time. I know of a man, when he discovered that both of them, him and his wife, they were no longer so constant in bed like that. He brought the wife to like the sport we call squash. Every evening the wife will join him. They will go for squash, and they will be there. They will be playing the game of squash until they sweat. When after 1 hour, 2 hours, they sweat profusely, and then they come back to the house. They rush to the bedroom, they take their bath, and then they eat. Let me tell you, they developed other forms of intimacy. Before you know it, the hunger for sexual intercourse came back again. I want you to know that whatever is lost can be found. Whatever is lost can be found. Look at other forms of intimacy, some other things that you and your wife can do that will still bring joy to do that. In the midst of laughter, jumping at each other, laughing hysterically, a passion can come in that can be finally fulfilled at the place of the bedroom. So this is how you do it. This is how you do it. And I want to talk to you that is also going through a challenge of sexlessness out there. Please stop giving unnecessary ultimatums. Ultimatums does not end it. Ultimatums doesn't solve sexlessness. By telling your spouse, if you continue and you are not making love to me, but until so and so, I'm getting out of the relationship. When you do that, you even make the situation worse. You make the situation worse. Have a solution mindset, not an ultimatum mindset. Don't begin to give ultimatums to your wife. Don't begin to give ultimatums to your husband. Have this at the bottom of your heart, that the same excitement you had from the beginning, you can restore it. And when you restore it, it will even become better and deeper. I thank you for actually taking out time to watch this very particular production. Please, if you have a comment to make concerning some of the things I've said, or there are points you think I should have included that I didn't, please make it at the comment section below. And please, before you leave, look at this red button by my side, click on it and get subscribed, and also recommend our channel to your close friends. I thank you very much for this wonderful time. God bless you and have an awesome experience during the week.